Yeah, literally. They do. Yeah. No, they don't. Yeah. They just kind of look and say, "Oh no, my miner's gone," and then they mauled. Yeah. 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 It's my name. The AI are idiotic. Yeah. 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 Biting biting the hand that feeds you. Yeah. Quite funny. Yeah. Yeah. They're just like they get the taste of the first pay and then they're like, "Oh wow." Yeah. Yeah. Demoted. Yeah. Infern and you're over 18. Oh, nice. 19. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
change the text size so Chip can log on because he's grounded again for the fifth time in the same month.
Why did you get you grounded?
I honestly, Chip getting grounded at this point, RC is just a meme because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Jokes
Yeah,
aside.
Revy. I want to say, the thing is, like, expanding on what Ugly said, when I was like developing the ship like indicators, right? Winem was doing his own thing, so I didn't really have much help from him. I had to design it myself. I did that, right? I looked over it, and another problem was, I asked, or like originally, I thought I only needed turret script and stuff like that, right? So I asked RC for those scripts, and then out of like. I looked at the scripts. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to do this? This was made in 2016. It hasn't been updated yet. How am I supposed to do this?
Yes,
so what I had to do was I had to go into the game on an alt and dex the game. And so it was like when I was doing it, I felt really weird. I'm like, I'm hacking on a game I'm supposed to be like developing for, you know? Like it was really weird to me. And so it's like I had to figure out what scripts I needed, right? I had to go to him to figure it out, and it was really difficult. And eventually I asked RC for the scripts, took a week. It's like...
Just to fight infer and shit, you know? You know, RC, you know I don't even do that stuff anymore. I wiped
Yeah.
my C drive a few weeks ago. I haven't reinstalled Synapse since.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness, there are
But yeah,
so
no, I was just
many
saying, this is like, if like the reason, like if I like, because I got the wrong scripts like initially, had to dex the game to figure out what script I needed to be able to develop for this game, and after I did that, I got the right script from RC. A week later, I looked it over, I started programming it, right, and then I went and I was like, okay, wait, does this script get copied for every single turret, right? And
what happened to
and then
Widowmaker?
I was gonna go ask RC, but RC was probably like on a vacation, right? So I'm like, okay, I can't do this, but I still need to get, develop this so I can give it out to community, because it's like a thing. When I hype something up in the community, they expect me to release it by the date that I'm literally telling them. And so when I went again and I dexed the game again, sacrificed yet another alt. And
Okay.
then I was able to confirm, yes, the script does get replicated for every single turret. And then I adjusted my code to fit that. I debugged it a bit in dev and I sent it over to RC. But then again, like the process, the whole process of having to hack on the game that I'm supposed to not only be defending from hackers, but also developing for. It was
I totally agree with you.
And I was like thinking, like, it'd be much easier if I were able to have like an access to like a library of the scripts, some of the like less important scripts, so that I could figure out, oh, do I need this one? Do I need this one? Without having to go and sacrifice an alt doing I sacrifice an alt dexing the game, hacking on the game.
Now,
Hold on. Can I just get a few words in real quick here? And RC, I'm talking directly to you on this, and I just want to say that right now we're at a state of the game where it's not been like before. We have two talented scripters that are fully motivated to work on the game. The problem is, as they've been mentioning, that they do not have access to the game's code, they do not have access to the scripts, we have dev restrictions, so they can't develop. And then, nobody's asking you to cut into your personal time. We understand you have a business, you have a life.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Galaxy has so much potential. And all of us here, we see that. We're here. That's why we're discussing this problem that needs to be addressed.
That's why we're still
Well
here.
said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Exactly.
Honestly.
So what I am asking is that if you do really want to see Galaxy succeed, you have to plan out, hey, one day out of the week, or maybe even a few hours out of the week, you have to log on. You have to, check out what's going on, answer our DMs if there's a game-breaking bug. But going inactive for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, leaving us in the dirt, that's not. It's not.
I'm not
You
sure
know.
that RC intended to disappear.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and
I'm
also,
sure. Like I said, I know he's got a life. He's got all this stuff going on, but we also do want to see Galaxy thrive. We do have two talented scripters, and I understand you don't want to reveal your source code. You don't want to put that out in the public because obviously you can't trust anyone online. So I think we need to work out a solution here where
Yeah.
you can log on at a certain time, address all these issues, and log off. And
Very well said.
yeah,
I agree
with
you.
Ardsley's
Oh.
got a really good point, and I think another good one is like, for example, if you want to take an issue, RC, that worked really well is when I first got Dev Advisor, we had that whole hoo-ha with like permits and all of bloody bar and loads of people buying loads, and when you were on, stuff like that gets fixed really quickly because people find it, it gets fixed. But the problem is when you're not on, like, people find these bugs. Like, there's been duping going on recently, if anyone's not noticed. Like, ADs have been popping up in Megabase like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like, if anyone hasn't noticed, because I check items every day, and for some reason it's jumping up and down. So someone's duping ADs again.
I think I know how people are duping without making the item negative, and I'm
Yeah.
DM RC now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a good reminder to do that. But
I saw
again,
like 36
when-
ADs and like.
yeah.
Can I
When
top
RC
one
Yeah.
thing? Oh,
when
There's
RC's
many
around,
ADs.
it works really well, and like even just being able to contact you like once a week, it reduces the risk of like major but game breaking bugs, because the problem is when you're not around and it needs you to fix, we sort of just can't do anything. We just have to watch it happen.
And
Like
Revy,
with the permits recently, like people are come to like all the devs every single day. Why is the SC permit 8 mil?
Exactly.
Why is it 9 mil? Why is it 7 mil? Do something about it. And then we got Chip here, and Chip's like, well, RC told me never to reduce the permit prices, and we can't check with you because you're not here. And then it just leaves us, well, we're being harangued by every single player because they want to buy an SC, and the permit price is for some reason like 10 mil, which is ridiculous. And
Yeah,
then
it's
we can't get,
basically gold class A permits.
yeah,
And I'm
we can't get
pretty sure Luke's
don't wanna-
Autoline is just like thriving right now.
yeah,
Luke
and
is
And
Yeah,
RC,
RC
you
claims
keep
it.
believing it's detectable, but like, how do you know that? Because Luke's been telling me it's working perfectly fine. He's making hundreds of dollars a month.
He knows.
I'm not sure he's being truthful.
well,
but thing I want to say,
RC knows that his auto mine detections are working because he's catching people auto mining.
yeah,
No, but
yeah,
the thing
Yeah,
I
but
wanna
how do you
say-
know that's his, Luke's? How do you know it's not like
It leaves quite a trace. It's like just it says it over and over, and then I'm like, well, if you have 50 of the same things in one day, you're probably auto mining, and it's
Yeah,
so
but-
easy to
yeah.
Well, RC, that's detecting maybe one person, but what if there's that small group which knows how to get past it? You're only detecting one auto mine, not two. Like, you don't know how many auto mine scripts are actually out there.
No, I don't know, but usually when there's one, it comes to light and hunt it down. I'm pretty good at that.
Which is why, like,
Thing
Lil
is-
Winem did an anti-cheat. He's mentioned a few things when we talked on the passive, and I'm pretty sure Winem could actually, like, make
Yeah,
it
no, but
actually
the
hard.
thing is, I just want to say, also expanding on what Revy said, RC said this before, he wants a self-sustaining staff team. The problem is, this is unrealistic. If you think about it, it's unrealistic because if RC is so dependable, we need him to do about anything in the game, patch this bug, and do this. How are we supposed to be able to, have a self-sustaining staff team when we're already so dependent on him? And I guess you could say, like right now, yeah, I guess some aspects of Galaxy are able to be
Self-sustaining.
they're able to be updated by devs. For example, let's say adding new features, I already do that. Let's say fixing game bugs and balancing, YM does that. Like managing devs, Chip does that. Managing admins, Rocket does that. So in some aspects, the game does get fixed. But the problem is, as Revy said, let's say someone discovers a bug. RC's gone for a few weeks, right? How are we supposed to, fix that bug? Let's say it's a game-breaking bug, duping. People are duping really valuable materials. Let's say, Red Diamonds or something, right? So people are duping really valuable materials. None of us are able to fix it. And so it's how are you supposed to have a self-sustaining staff team when the owner is gone? And
Maybe what I need to do is give the dev director or maybe the admin director just my personal contact info so they can actually text me when shit goes wrong.
I think from an admin point of view, I think that would be a good idea because as an admin, when I have an issue or whatever, or with something, or I have a question about something, or I want guidance or something, I'd probably message Rocket. And then that also kind of leads me into this discussion of different time zones. Of course, no one can be active at any certain given time, but usually when it's something like a major issue, a major problem, and I have to consult Rocket about it, and Rocket is busy doing IRL stuff, then there's not really...
If that's not a bad idea, but if we were going to do that, RC, can I put in the request that if you were to give, for example, Chip or someone your personal contact, right, could you do it so that there is multiple higher up people with it, or people that you trust? Because if Chip's grounded and we can't get a hold of Chip, again, there's no point, we can't get a hold of you. Whereas if Chip and YName, for example, had it, then there's never an issue because we'll always be able to get with you.
The main issue with both Chip and I having it is that if Chip and I do not communicate enough, then we'll end up both talking to RC about the same issues.
But then that speaks volumes about us organizing ourselves.
No, I don't want to text if there's an emergency. I mean, and I was not on. I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
No,
we don't want
an
emergency to happen. Then
what
both
I'm saying is, with RC being gone, I'm just saying, and with what Ugly said, Galaxy has a lot of potential, but the way you can unlock it is by having someone who's competent enough, someone who's able to
Trustworthy enough.
be trustworthy enough. And what I'm saying is, I feel like the best solution to unlocking the potential of the galaxy is having two owners, RC and someone else. Someone who has equal perms to RC, someone who's trustworthy enough to not leak it, maybe even someone who RC knows IRL. Anybody who is trustworthy enough to be active and take over when RC is gone. I feel
Maybe
like
even another
Another
time zone.
That might be our country. Yeah.
Like,
I thought that I was eligible for that, considering that I don't care about Robux. I never asked for any payment, and I've been with Galaxy staff for.
yeah, that's what I do too. I literally, like, when Chip asks me if I want pay, I say no. I do this out of my own time. It's a hobby, right? And so it's I don't want owner of this game. I like getting. I mean, if I was offered it,
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I mean, but I'm not going to bug anybody about it. I'm not going to say that. The whole Sugon for head of staff thing was a joke on my end. Getting dev in itself is probably a big achievement for me. But I feel like someone needs to be able to take over when RC is gone. Someone who has the exact same perms as him. And if you take a good look,
I don't exactly agree with that because again,
but Ugly, if you take a look at big Roblox games like
Every-
let's say Jailbreak or stuff like that, they have two owners, one to take over when the main one is gone.
Everyone.
What
who's
are other
ever-
people doing?
Everyone who's ever been involved with Galaxy has came and went. Nobody's ever here forever.
Yes. Yes.
So RC
And
has
how are
to
the other
consistently
games doing
hire
that?
new devs, and if he trusts anyone, then they're eventually going to have to be replaced.
I
say
think
give
right,
it to
okay.
someone who's like first over 18, like someone who's not going to
Right.
be in like school, someone who can be
Yeah.
someone who's like of age for something like that. And
Like a contract, like we
don't-
were discussing
don't
earlier.
make them like a second owner. Just give them like team create access or something like that, and they can patch the devs through when RC is not there.
But then
Yeah.
the thing is, you need to get someone who's over 18 who's willing to do it, who RC trusts, and
Exactly.
that's already
That's
a difficult task.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Yeah, it would almost be like somebody I would have to know in real life.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly, and that's completely fine. And I think, like, in RC's defense, like, come on, you can't say that the staff team on this game is particularly trustworthy. Like,
No,
there's
no,
been times in this game's
no.
history where you can't even argue it. Like, devs abuse all the time. It's like, it's not even old
Exactly,
news. It's not
yeah.
even like a marvel anymore. Like, I think like players will listen and go, another devs abuse. Who saw that one coming? Him going the speed of a viper. Lol. Like, it's not even like funny anymore because it does happen like often.
Yeah.
Like, it just does happen. And I think the contact info is not a bad idea. But I'd say if you're going to do that, RC, give it to the two co-admin directors and Chip. Because then we've got three routes. If anything goes majorly wrong, one of them's going to be on. You know, I know Irfan. Even when Irfan's not active in this community, I can go nag Irfan. I could be like, Irfan, until he responds to me. Like, I can go and do that. And I'd just rather have, if we were going to put a system like that in place where if we needed you badly, we could get hold of you. It's going to have to be that multiple people do it because, like you say, people have got lives. You've got a life. Like I respect that completely. I've got college. People have got school. Like all of that. So multiple people need to have it just in case that one's not on. Because again, with Chip in the override codes, a big issue with us doing stuff with override codes is Chip is literally grounded every other day. So. You know, we as I said, me and one name had to go on dev once and change the text size so it would fit on his phone, so we could get override codes to push an update without waiting weeks.
I also want to say that I feel like the whole system of, you know, like I said before, like me having the nag RC to get scripts for the game, it's really inefficient, as Ugly also said, because you have to wait months at times in order to get an update out. I feel like if RC were able to push, like if you were able to make a library, like let's say a GitHub repository, private GitHub repository, something that would have like a library of some like Galaxy scripts, like less important ones, like because like, you know, like let's say like client liver stuff like that, you know, you really you need like they those like are essential for the game to function. But scripts that aren't really essential, I mean, well, if you think about it, all scripts are essential, but just having some of the scripts that, you know, let's say I would need like to push an update, like already there, like laid out for me, I feel like I'd be able to do more with that than to constantly nag RC, who might even take like a week to respond.
Yeah.
The main
And you know, the worst part about this entire thing, like I mentioned before, Galaxy has so much potential with the large community that has been backing it for years.
Exactly.
That is one of the few games on Roblox that's even alive after this many years, and somehow it always bounces back. But devs need more freedom, and now that we actually have scripters, you know, RC doesn't all have to be on you. It's up to you how you want to play it. If you take a chance, the game may develop really well, and you may see an increase in revenue. But at this current state, eventually, I feel like Galaxy is just going to run out of players. You know,
the history of Galaxy has shown that developers, when they get bored, they leave violently. They abuse their firms. They attempt to destroy the game. They add themselves a deity and go kill stuff. They.
I mean, it's
with
not,
the deity stuff.
To be fair, it's not even devs. Like, it's any staff member.
Any
like,
staff,
there was the
yeah.
whole Sophie incident, bro. Like, how many ults did she give Protoss to? And
Yeah,
how did people not
exactly.
notice?
I mean,
It
everybody
took
thought
like
that Sophie was very rational and mature and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and she went and did that, and what the ironic thing is, no one even noticed for ages until someone logged on them and went, "Why is his like 0 score got added a proto for no reason?" And they checked their logs, and she's gone and it's like added like loads, and no one even noticed. And you'd think that,
everyone did though. Everyone did. Just
they did it. They did when they saw it. Yeah.
No, not that. Everyone like there was the issue is in Galaxy there's always been like this big friend group, and it's like if you want to know what's happening, you have to be in that group of people. Or you at least need to know people in that group. Like the majority of players, there was a decent amount of people. Basically, all staff, all like major groups there knew what Sophie did. Just no one brought it up for some reason. Like, there's always been this case of there's a friend group, you're either in it, or you don't know what's really going on.
And it's stuff like
thing. For the longest time, everyone knew Confinium did stuff. Just none of us said anything because no one knew what to do.
Yeah, and Ugly's got a really good point when he says like you can have the most cool-headed, responsible acting staff member. You think they'd never do anything, but when they're going out, they just don't care because at that point they're leaving. So you can have someone you trust with with everything, and they will still have a chance to just go whoop and just doing stuff.
Okay, but Revy.
I also
Revy, what are other people doing?
This
is not the only multi-dev game.
Huh?
What?
This is not the only multi-dev game.
Yeah.
What are other people doing to get over this issue?
It doesn't even start as multi. It's a everybody at the beginning they're co-owned, so they all have equally something to lose. I mean, in my opinion, that's what happens.
Yes.
So,
well, do we know that for sure? I mean, I'm sure we can find somebody to talk to.
Also, the thing was, before, actual devs cared a lot more because they actually played the game a lot more often.
Yeah.
So the idea of them losing and all that stuff for a wipe because they abused was actually a punishment. Most devs don't actually play the game that much, and when they do, it's to hop on, kill something, hop off. They're not spending hours actually playing.
No.
So
I
the
just
idea
wanna-
of you grinding to wipe them doesn't matter.
Yeah, I want to say that as the main scripter for this game, I totally understand how I could be seen as not trustworthy. I totally understand not getting team crate. Like, think about it. My reputation in this community is as an infamous troller, someone who shit posts a general at every chance they get. And I've also I've been trying to escape this reputation of mine. Like, I've trying to been, sometimes I wish I could go on an alt, get staff again, but be like the most responsible, most like mature staff member the game's ever seen, but on an alt, so I can escape this like stupid ass reputation of mine. But at the same time, it's like I already have this rank. It's going to be impossible to get back. And I just want to say that, yeah, as you can tell, you can have the most trustworthy member of staff and the most the best staff member ever. But once they feel like the time's right, they're going to abuse, and go. And you can't prevent that really with any game. No one can prevent that. And I want to say and also what your friend said, not rare. The devs currently don't play the game as much. I mean, I guess you can say Teen and YNAME do, but realistically, I only get on Galaxy when I'm trying to like develop. I don't play the game.
Yes.
And I don't like to play the game. And I find it crazy how I'm still finding myself developing for this game despite not even having not finding it fun to play it. And I want to be able to get pull more power to be able to push out the updates I want to push out. But at the same time, it's hard to do so when I have such an ass reputation of mine and I'm seeing like some infamous troller. Like I could go ahead and beg RC for like 10 years, tell him give me owner, and he won't do it. Why? Because I've like no one in this community is trustworthy enough. Not me, not anyone. Everybody who's in this community has done at least some bit of trolling or shown themselves to be at least a bit immature. And I've been demoted so many times. Well, not as much times as teen, but from mod, from admin, dev, I've been demoted so much. It's hard to be able to trust someone.
Most of the developers, there are 6 developers, only 2 of them play the game. Teen and I are the top grinders, number 10 and 11.
Exactly.
And we've never really.
Yeah, and so as we said, RC has many ways he can play his cards, right? He can give devs or me who specifically pushes out scripting features more perms. But let's say I can't see myself doing this in the future at all. I mean, I'm not the type of person to be malicious for my perms. Every time I've been demoted, it's probably been because I was just being stupid, but not really abusing my perms. And so let's say RC gives me more perms, I go ahead and I'm like, oh, hey, this game doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I want to leave, but I want to do it funny. I go ahead and abuse. I yoink all the source code of the game and leak it to, let's say, someone like Infern, right? Who's there to stop me from doing that? No one. Only RC. But RC isn't that active enough to be able to oversee everything I do. So I can go do that for weeks, give Infern all the source code of the game for and who would know? No one. Only RC could, but he's not active enough to know. And so when it comes to the topic of giving devs more perms, it's there has to be someone who's irresponsible enough to be able to know, to be able to see this behavior and put a stop to it. But when you're working directly under RC, which is what I'm doing right now, I guess you could say I'm working under Chip too, but realistically it's under RC. I need him to do anything really. And so when he's not there, when he's not there to be able to look over my behavior, my activities, and what I'm doing, how am I able to be trustworthy enough to be eligible for getting these perms? It's a really hard topic to discuss because I want more perms so I can be able to push the updates without having to be so dependent on RC. But at the same time, RC has to be there to be sure that I'm not being malicious with these perms.
Honestly, more perms has been the only thing I've pushed for years now, and it hasn't worked out. I guess you just have to find one trustworthy guy that RC knows personally at this point. I honestly thought that I was pretty trustworthy, but I guess not.
It depends on the personality of the developer. Some developers, every developer will at some point stop caring. That just happens. I will eventually stop caring. Sugan will stop caring. Teen has stopped caring before.
It's how you resign.
Teen cares too.
So Teen went out by abusing. He stopped caring. There was no reason for him to not. Yeah. I personally would not do that because that's just not who I am. Sugan, I don't think he would, but there's no way I can trust that. There's no way RC can trust me when I say that.
I also know Wynham. His reputation is far better than mine. He is kind of monkey, but not monkey in the way that he would abuse. But if you take a good look at someone like me, who's known for being a troll, for trolling, someone who's been demoted many times, not both for my incompetence and for just being overall stupid. It's just, how am I supposed to be able to get up to that point where RC can trust me enough to give me those perms? And with someone like Wynham, I guess you can say is already trustworthy enough, but how can you trust him not to go and do that, even though he doesn't seem like the type of person? It's hard to be able to know that of someone who's online. You can't make out like what's going on in someone's mind when it's over the internet. You have to know them IRL. But the thing is, how is like RC can't go up to his, like, let's say like his close friend and say, hey, do you want to be the owner of my game? I can't imagine him going up to his like freaking long lost cousin and say, hey, do you want to develop for my game called Galaxy on the platform Roblox? Gonna look at him stupid. It's like,
only knowing them
I've
does
got
not.
to go, but I will just listen. I've got to go, but I'm just gonna say this: that, like I said, RC, Galaxy has a lot of potential. If you trust your developers, I think that it can develop into something very good. Considering you do have 2 active scripters that are fully motivated. Right now, adding more ships and bases is not the solution. We need more features like the turret loading indicators and all that stuff. That really improves the quality of the gameplay. It makes it a lot more professional.
yeah.
Thank you.
My purpose as a dev is to provide more functionality to the game. If you take a good look at my Trello, you can see my main goals is to give quality of life updates, make the game more fun for everybody, give the UI, the UI like a redesign, making it like the ship turret indicators, giving people more sense of, wow, this game is like doing good, like, wow, like there's more functionality into the game. The game's getting more sophisticated. That's what I want to be able to provide for the game. So more sophistication, giving it more functionality, giving it like a better feel, Yeah. When I played Galaxy back then, it was like, I like you guys probably know by now, I was an arcade main from 2017 to early 2020. I left after some guy did a low IQ move regarding Mothership. You can read about that on my page on the Galaxypedia. And so I quit arcade. I went to main, and that's when I got into community. It was difficult to. It was because it's like when I was playing the game back then, I found it fun. I'd come home from a long day at school, and I'd be like, hey, I just want to go and have some fun with spaceships. I didn't want to grind for them. I just wanted to be able to go on, because I also had homework, right? I'd get home at 6 p.m. EST, and I had to go to sleep by 10 p.m. EST. I didn't have much time to play it, so I wasn't able to grind. And so I would go and I would spawn in the ships that I bought via Robux, and I would go and fight other people. That's where I got my fun. But at the same time, if you really think about it, that gets pretty repetitive. If you introduce more ways for people to have their fun, some people might find enjoyment in mining. Some people might find enjoyment in bounty hunting. Some people might find enjoyment in combat wars, PvE. Some people might find enjoyment in PvP, like I did. That's what I'm trying to do.
Other people's mining enjoyment.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be able to make the game fun for all. And give it more sophistication. Yeah.
Adding on to what Sugon and Ugly were saying, I genuinely think at the minute, like, I'm pretty sure Wyname will agree with me, and Sugon and stuff, they genuinely care at the minute. Like, I don't think it's, like, I get it, like, Dev's a monkey and all, but at the minute, Wyname, I'd say, especially Sugon, even Teen, like, genuinely care, like, a bit. Like, yeah. I care as well. Like, I mean, me and Wyname, like, we don't just, like, half-arse it, like, let's rebalance this by doing this. Me and Wyname will go and make a like spreadsheet just to nerf like one thing. It's not like we're not being careful or not putting in the effort. Like, a lot of us do genuinely care. It might seem ridiculous because, like, especially for me, like, I don't get paid. I'm doing this out of my own free thing. Like, I don't care. Like, it might seem ridiculous to you lot, but I get enjoyment out of doing it. Like, I went and sat with Wyname and we spent a day nerfing the Protos, and we sat there with a spreadsheet and we fiddled with it and we tinkered with it until we got it perfect.
And it's hard to prove for me too, because for someone who doesn't find enjoyment in playing the game, like, I haven't gone on Galaxy for, let's say, months, right? And so it's hard, and I only have free messages and update logs. How are people supposed to know that I'm a person who has big aspirations for this game, right? It's hard to prove, but in truth, I do. I might not have the activity, but I want to see this game succeed. It was a game I played a lot throughout my childhood, back when I was like 10 or even 9, right? Like, it was a game that I used to play a lot as a kid, and I want to see it succeed. I want to be able to give the kids of today a feeling of being able to come home from their school and play the game, have their fun. And also, Ugly wants to say that it's a roll of the dice. You'll have to take it if you wish to see your game become something unique and fun to play. Galaxy has a strong backing, and a community won't let the game die if you support it and lead the way. Sugandis and Wyname are the solution.
So I don't think that if the devs care or not matters, because at some point, everyone's going to stop caring. At some point, I will not care. I intend to, at that point, either go inactive or just respectfully leave. Even if I don't care about what happens to my account or the game, it's not who I am to go out violently.
You need someone who's like mature enough to just be like chill with leaving and not like, oh, I really don't care. Let's just go screw up everything, and then my name will live on
Well,
as
no,
the
that's
person
just-
who did this.
Okay,
or
one
something
thing like Sogon and Wine need to know, by the way, because this is just the case. This is the case for basically every old player who knows anyway. You know how most of the devs end up using admins? Basically, almost every case of this, even with the Sophie case, it's not because they personally wanted to abuse. It's always been the case of there's old players who've already left the game, who are friends of them, who will then convince them to do that as their last thing to do. It happened with Sophie, it happened with all the old devs, it happened with all the old admins. Like, there was literally a Discord for old players, and usually an old player, like, some of the old admins would be like, yeah, I'm going to leave soon. And then they'll be like, yeah, do something funny, go abuse. Like, it's always been the case of them just getting pressured into it. A lot of them didn't want to do it, but they just get pressured into it.
Yeah. And
That's the one thing Arsenal needs to realize. Is a lot of the abuse were just old players who their old player friends just told them to do it. That was it. It's not like they wanted to. They just were. They were just told by their friends that would be funny.
Yeah.
And Irfan, adding onto that, I can agree to some extent that that is the case. It does happen. I've seen it happen. Like, let's say with the teen and the 500 speed imperator.
Yeah.
He was convinced by BH to do that. It was really funny,
none of
right?
the abuses are like separate. Like, I'm like, none of them just go by themselves and think, I'm gonna leave with like a bang. I'm gonna just ruin the game.
Yeah.
And every staff member is always a part of a group, and the truth is, the group will always leave first. Then the staff member will leave, and then they'll usually be pressured into doing something to make them laugh. It's always been the case.
Like, I'll be dead serious, right? Is that from a personal thing, right? If I was Dev, right, especially like a year or so ago when WCS first quit, if I was encouraged to leave at the time, right, a year or so ago, I totally would have done something. If Vlad and that lot were pressuring me to do something, Irfan will back me when I say like, I back even just a year ago was not mature enough to say no. I would have just done it like for a laugh.
You definitely would have.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't now, and I don't care because like Vlad and that lot have moved on for ages. But like, you got to remember these are people who've been playing with these guys for years, and then the group leaves, and then obviously they're still staff, and it's like good and all, but like within the next year or so they'll go, and I'll admit when I was, not all the staff are that old. Like I'm not that old. I'm 17 now, but even just a year or 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been mature enough that if all of my friends who quit, right, left, and I was thinking about quitting, and they were like, hey, do you want to be funny? Add a bunch of protos to someone, or, bomb the game, or just destroy it. Like, a lot of people would, because they just, not that mature.
Ravi,
it's just the harsh truth.
Ravi, the funniest part is, I am actually the only, like, old player who's still in the Discord, who's in the old player Discord. Like, all the old players are still there.
Yeah.
But none of them play. I'm still here. I've constantly been spammed like from them before, just saying, why haven't you just like nuked the game and left?
Yes.
Yeah, and also adding on to what Irfan said, I feel like my current rank as a dev is kind of cursed. Being a 15-year-old and all, it's hard to be able to convince people I'm mature enough to be able to take on a higher rank, and it's hard enough with my current reputation. I've been demoted from admin for making an NSFW fanfic with me and the admin director. Just imagine that. Imagine a person who had done that is asking you to become the owner of the game. Like, how are you supposed to react? It's really difficult.
The truth is, and I'm pretty sure like everyone knows this. Everyone who actually knows the staff team knows this fully, and most of the community involved. At the end of the day, the truth is, and God will back me here, being staff is just a popularity contest. Like, regardless of what anyone wants to say.
To be fair,
since 2017, it's just a popularity contest. As long as you're in the close group of people of like major players, you're eventually always gonna get staff. It's always been the case.
I've seen that for myself.
That's literally been the case since 2017. Bro, I was 13. I got offered to be staff.
Yeah,
because I was just
I'll back up on here. take anyone who got staff and like loads of them. Coco, for example, big group of people. Irfan got his for a big group of people. If as soon as you have people in a big enough community within here, whether it's like a group of old players or a big faction, they will eventually get staff. It does just become a popularity contest because if you have enough people backing you, you'll just get staff. Like it just. And once you got to remember, once one person's in there, they'll just vote for one of their other friends.
It's
And
either that
it's
or
like,
if you're
repeating.
friends with a lot of staff. Like, let's take
Yeah.
I know I've known Rapid since like 2019. He was part of a clan that I owned in Pre-Gamma, and pretty much the reason that he got admin was because I introduced him to Dylan, and then Dylan got into a fight with him, and then said, "Oh, I'll do something nice for him," and then gave him mod. Which
I also want to say that it happened to me too, where when I first became wiki staff, right, I was working under Sean. I became wiki staff. I ended up becoming wiki admin after making a Discord bot for the Galaxy Wiki Discord server. That's when I met a player, Kaima77. He told me I had a lot of potential. I could do a lot of good things to the game.
You know what else he almost definitely told you?
No, yeah, he told me. Yeah, he also said that, yeah. And so he basically DM'd me this one time saying, "You have a lot of potential. I see what you can do, and if you put it into the game, you can make something wonderful." And, I mean, that's pretty corny coming from me. But that's what I remember him telling me, that I had a lot of potential and I should become staff. I'm like, there's no way that's possible. I'm not even nearly as popular as some of the staff members in the game. How am I supposed to get a rank as in, like, big as that, right? So this guy goes ahead and tells XUNE, Black Chicken, to nominate me for mod. He goes and does it, and next thing I know, I DM OneFast saying that I got muted for saying bypass. And then right after I said that, he's like, "Congrats, you've been elected to be a mod." It was really funny.
Sargon, this is the thing, right? I'll be straight here, because I got fucking mod when I was 13, bro. Like, I should not have gotten mod when I was a 13-year-old. That is stupid.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the truth is, I literally had to watch it be a popularity contest because I didn't know what to do back then. Like, the funniest thing I remember was Confinium literally, like, told me, and I was just a mod, but I was, like, higher than the mods, like, normally, but not actually per role. And he was like, "Oh, you should choose out the new mods." And then when I gave him suggestions, he would just say he just doesn't like the person. Like, it wasn't based off they be a good mod. He'd just be like, "I don't like them." Yeah, and it was always like, it was a certain, like, I'm pretty sure you've heard of the whole VC Confinium thing, right?
I did,
drama.
yes.
It was that. It was, if I named them, he'd ask me, "Are they a part of VC?" And if I said yes, he'd be like, "Insane denied." Like, that was just the case.
And
This was a popularity contest.
I'd also say, RC, right, there's a flip side of this. So a lot of people know, it's not a secret. I used to be very, like, well-known in WCS and that, with all the exploiters and all of that jargon, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you from someone who knows, it is the same in reverse, with staff members knowing who's exploiting, and so long as they're profiting off it, they don't care. Like, there's been times, RC, where you've been cracking down on auto mining, and there has been times where people I know, and myself, I will admit, have been auto mining in servers with admins, and they've just let it slide because they're making money off it.
I've seen that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it genuinely is an issue. If that's
exactly.
I'd say the entire game with staff is all about, like, connections.
So hear me out.
Do you know?
You're fine. I see, like, I like what you just explained. I saw a long time ago, and I also was hired as a mod at age 13. I'm currently 15, right? I got hired in early 2021 when I was 13, became 14. Here I'm 15, and so, it was like, I did all that stuff because I was just a stupid kid, right? But now I see, you don't do that. You don't make an NSFW fanfic admin director.
I'll go on. Do you know how bad it really is? Like, how bad the whole, like, inner circle thing is? I'm going to be honest, because I think the only one who's in it, even, especially nowadays. I told you about this whole old play Discord.
I know
the last staff from, like, 2016 to, like, 2019 are only people from that. Like, they specifically only pick people from that. And it was a known thing. Like, they literally wrote, like, people would ping there and be like, "Promote me," and it would always get promoted. Like, there's even a Snapchat group chat, and they still talk about, like, if anyone wanted staff, they just say, and then they probably get promoted.
Oh,
Everyone knew about it. All the old players were in there. Like Rakuri was there, Feral, like Plural,
Yeah.
everyone's in there. And it was just a case of, and it was a good thing for the most part because it was people they could trust. So it was fine for the most part until all the old players were gone.
Yeah.
Because then you had a bunch of people who didn't care about the game, but then they controlled the entire staff ring for the longest time. Only until one boss came in who wasn't a part of the ring. That's when random
It got
started getting
broken.
stuff.
Yeah, and again, it is the flip side of like Afad says, with that inner circle, the reason loads of exploiting went on, without any interruption back then, was just because they were friends with the staff. There was staff members who knew that Vlad and me and Coco and people in VC did stuff. They all knew, but they just didn't care because they were friends with us. The bias was ridiculous.
Revy, you know the entire 2018 staff team?
Yeah.
That's the major groups, back
I
then.
know. Oh yeah, I
All
know.
of us, everyone, including me, because I was not staff for a while because I was friends with VC, so convenient removed me. We were all in the PS. Arena was even there, and literally Switch was openly B-tooling, streaming in the voice chat.
Yeah.
And no staff member cared. He was spawning requests which he wasn't allowed to. And not a single staff member cared because when you killed the Pyro Levi, it dropped 100k worth of boots.
I won't leak who it was because it's harsh, but there is a picture out there, RC, right, that once upon a time existed, and there is a screenshot, and there is 8 galaxies docked at Fire and auto mining with 3 admins in admin ships flying above them. I'm being dead serious.
And no, Irfan, what you just said was something I've been observing for a really long time. As being a player from 2017, I've seen these issues arise and go. I was there for the Confinium, pay-to-win event. I saw the chat going light speed. I saw all these flaws, and during my original run as a mod, I was like, I want to stop this. It's drama's happening. These people are corrupt. They're doing bad things to the community.
Yeah,
with the purple thing. It was a really bad thing, and I was like, I want to get this kindly Frank. I want to get admin director or head of staff so I could put an end to this, reorganize the staff team, make it so that they don't do this. There's no favoritism. There's no natural picking. There's people are getting picked to be staff members because they'd be good at fulfilling their role, not because they're well.
I don't disagree.
There's one big thing though, and RC needs to know this because this is very important for why a lot of issues ever happened. RC, one of the big reasons why a lot of these things always went under your the big reason why none of this stuff was ever brought up to you was for the longest time all these people in this old play group, which I was even part of, basically no one trusted you because you always kept purple around, even though after Raya, staff team fully demoted after other staff team. No one trusted. No one thought that if they even brought it up, there'd be a point because everyone would assume you take the purple side over.
I think it's all good. With
that I kept you around. I'm sorry.
What I was saying is all these issues that happened in the past, all the auto mining stuff. Most of these staff members who were part of the old play group, which I was talking about, the only reason they never brought up to you was because you always sided with purple. So a lot of these players never trusted you, when it came to issues.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and I agree with that to some extent. It's purple. Purple was a major issue, and I guess protagonist of Galaxy. Her rules and policies were very they're really weird, and
they made no sense half the time.
They made no sense.
Well, no, it wasn't even about policies. It was just the fact of every old play was
exactly.
At the end of the day, even if 90% of the community said no, they'd always feel like
when I became an admin.
To be fair, with Purple, it was like she changed the weather. Some days she'd do ship transfers for people, and then the next day she'd be no, not allowed anymore. It's like, oh, okay.
Exactly. And actually, to be honest, I said this earlier, but me actually wanting head of staff, okay, now that I think of it, it wasn't actually a joke. I really wanted to change it up for a better, because Irfan, I also wanted you to become head of staff instead of me, because I remember this one time me and you had this long ass 3-hour conversation in our DMs talking about how bad the community is, how bad staff have become, and what needs to be done to stop it. And this was prior to me becoming admin. And when I became admin, and then the whole topic of you becoming admin director was brought up, I instantly supported that. I was like, I want this guy to become admin director. He's going to solve all of our issues. Our views aligned, and I saw that you actually also wanted to do good for the game. I saw that you wanted to crack down on the corruption and to fix the game for the better, make the rules better, basically make it so that the game is functioning as like smoothly, and that's why I supported you, and I'm actually pretty happy that you're co-admin director.
To be fair though, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of lose a lot of care after the whole after the OneFast thing, where OneFast left. Every admin was like, yeah, you can basically be AD. So I fixed everything that day, because like I remember coming home, Yname was was mod manager, even though like everyone did not like Yname as a mod back then. Sorry, Yname, by the way.
Promoting me.
And there was like a bunch of like random people who
don't.
no one liked who were mods, and I remember I had to remove them.
Irfan, if you had not promoted me, I don't think I'd still be here.
Yeah, like all the staff were like, yeah, you're basically in charge, which was surprising. They all just said yes.
I mean,
and then the next day, I remember waking up and seeing that Rocky got admin direct, and I was like, I guess that's just how it is.
And to be honest, with Rocket, he's good. It's just that he can be better. He Irfan, I'm pretty sure you could probably go on an hour rant complaining about Rocket.
It's the same case with OneFast. That's the same case with OneFast.
Yeah,
no
it's
one
the same case
complained
with
about
OneFast.
OneFast.
No, hang on.
They're
Can
better.
I just want to quickly say, right? I bet it sounds really pretentious and really like almost ironic, really, because like we're all sat here and we're all saying this, but let's be real. Like all of us at some point have been idiots. Like, come on.
That is so
like,
true. Yeah.
Starting with you, Sugon, your drama. I don't know if RC would remember, but I used to be one of the biggest centers of drama in this Discord. I used to come in here and I used to argue with RC and Purple and get myself banned all the time.
I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think it's kind of like funny in a way that we're all saying this and like with our past.
I
but,
love the drama too, man.
and-
For the whole
yeah,
Enigma
and I
question.
think like RC, like speaking to you, I get that it probably sounds like quite ironic in a way that
It
we're all
is.
saying this now, considering I don't know if you remember, but I did used to argue with you on the daily whenever you were in the Discord.
To be fair, God Revy, all of my things are just Rising and
Yeah,
Purple.
but,
That's
like,
my only exceptions.
To be fair to RC, it probably does sound ironic at the end of the day, but like genuinely, like we do mean it when we
do
say
want
it.
better
Like
for the game,
we do
yeah.
want better. Like, come on, we've been here for so long now. We've been through the charade. We had Confinium, and then out with Purple, all the drama. Me coming into General. Oh look, Godrevy's off again at RC for something that RC doesn't care about. Like it's just the same old loop, and like. I've got older, Sugon's got older, Irfan's got. And we're at the point now where
thinking about it when
we're-
RC said the thing like, "Oh, Sugun would be a better dev when he's older." I can agree with that now, man. He said that back when I was 13. I agree with it totally now.
Yeah.
I'm 15.
And I
By the
think
way, Sugon,
I think
Yeah.
it was the case.
I
Of
was
that.
saying the funniest thing, like one of the things that really like pushed me away though, was do you remember the period where I was just permanently banned because of Purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I remember Rocket spoke to you, and even you said to Rocket that you didn't agree with the ban, but you just didn't want to get involved in the drama, so you just left. I was just stuck permabanned for like,
And so,
like 3 months.
The reason I made that point, RC, is because the way I want you to see it is that, like, as well as us sticking around, we have got older. Like, I used to be a little nightmare. Like, I feel bad for you. Like, genuinely, I used to be awful. And, like, Sugon's had his fair share. And, like, almost every staff's had their fair share.
Yeah.
But it's at the point now with that, like, as much as it's ironic and, like, it's kind of, like, always asking a lot, but, like, genuinely just try and trust us when we say we do want what's best
That's
now.
us, yeah.
Like, so, like, at this point, RC, almost all of my friends have moved on. Like, and I'm still here and I still do
same.
stuff, but... And sometimes they still come back and, like, play a little bit, but... We've lost most of our friends who used to play are gone at this point. Like, we're still around, and it's because we genuinely like care. And I know it's like difficult to believe, when you've got like our backgrounds. It's not like it's hidden that I was a particularly interesting individual back in the day. But we do mean it when we say we're only doing this because if we didn't want to, we just wouldn't.
Yeah,
So there is a point there.
I agree.
And honestly, it's like when it comes to the whole idea, it's just like I always found it hilarious that I would make these meme like images, right, where it was just like Galaxy if Sugon had team create or like head of staff, and every time I sent it, people would like upvote it like to oblivion. Like the one I sent recently as a joke has 57 like like reactions saying true. And so it's like it's signaling to me like that the community sees the potential that I have, despite myself not believing it. Because I also feel like, yeah, like with you, Revy, right? I also do feel bad for RC, because back then I used to love the drama. I loved like the Confinium event. I loved the purple like Enigma Cash event. I was a main like in the Enigma Cash event. That's where I really started to shine. I got banned for 30 days for saying that RC was a clown.
I mean, yeah, like we've all been to our fair share.
It was really funny, and looking back, I laugh at it, but I also question if it was a really a responsible thing to do. You know, getting myself involved in all of the drama. I made friends with a lot of people, and a lot of them have told me, like, why don't you just go ahead and like, you know, abuse and quit. I'm like, and I wish I could pull up the DMs, but I kind of like closed all of them. But yeah, a lot of people do, like, even today tell me, hey, why don't you just go ahead and abuse and just quit? You know, you'd be far better developing in a bigger game or like a better game. Well, like, people have told me for so long that my scripting skills could be used far better in a game that's bigger and not owned by RC. And I've always denied this. I said, I want to see this game like succeed. I want to see it be big. I want to see it with 1K like players. And I like, it's because the game has so much potential. It just needs someone to unlock it. And when I see people like reacting with those stuff, it's like I see that they're believing in my potential despite myself not doing so. And that's why I'm thinking, you know, if I could somehow get like the trust of RC or someone to give me the perms that I need to be able to better this community, this game, and the staff team, I feel like it'd be wonderful, because I could finally give the community what they want. I could give them the staff team that they've longed for, the game that they want to see, and I feel like I could really improve the game to see, like, you know, like, it's just like, I not only want to see it succeed, I want to be the person to make it succeed. I want to be one of the driving forces behind its success. And I feel like Revy and Irfan could also back this up. They also want to be the people who drive it to, you know, success. We all do, despite us having our fair share of drama, our fair share of, like, you know, being stupid and incompetence, like me calling RC a clown and getting demoted and getting banned for 30 days.
Yeah, I've done worse.
Having drama.
I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying, why could it be this?
Oh, okay, maybe not Irfan, but yeah, me and Revy, like, it's like we've done stupid. I got banned by Purple. I've gone in drama left and right. I've clashed with many community members, and like most recently, that whole FOB drama where I posted a copy pasta after debating with the FOB community about how their rules are absolutely brain dead. And it's just like things like that, they happen. And honestly, I feel like looking back at it, it's funny, but I feel like I should have been more responsible with and thought about how like my actions could be shaping my reputation, what they could be doing to me in the future. If I wanted, because I wanted a better rank back then, I thought it would just come to me naturally. Now that I look at it, I see that I have to actually work for it. And I feel like Revy, you could probably also feel the same way.
If I'm just gonna quickly say, like, it's ironic because I used to have, you know, a go at you all the time, RC, and like I've sort of changed in the fact that I actually kind of like respect it now, because like I've realized by doing this community is a lot of like labor of love in terms of like, you know, I'm doing this not because I get paid, because like I used to play this game and like it being on the flip side and trying to like get it to be fun and stuff, I enjoy now. And I do have a lot of respect for you, because I do realize that, you know, in some instances, like, I can imagine how annoying I was, you know, when you used to come in.
I remember.
Yeah, and I can just, I feel, because I understand, like, completely now, being on the flip side, like, it's not easy, and Sugar is right when I think there's people like me and YNAME and Irfan who, like, genuinely do want to, like, help it become better. Like, now, even though we've had, like, past drama, like, we've all grown up. Yes, not you, Irfan. Irfan, you're squeaky clean, don't worry.
I want to see a point where, like, people that I knew from, like, 2018, 2019, stuff like that, actually see the game, like, getting good
Yeah.
and then come back.
Well, no, okay.
Because
Bob, a lot
I've-
of them did.
Well, no, I mean not any of the ones that I knew. I had an old like clan kind of thing from, it was like really niche and stuff, but it had like 60 some people in there. And pretty much the only people who are active now, Rapid, Brain World Boy, and Eskium, and that's it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the weird part was
Rapid,
a lot
Brain
of old
World
players
Boy,
actually.
Eskium, and me are the only ones that are still active from there.
I was gonna say though, Bob. The weird part is a lot of old players did actually come back because they did actually ping that Discord just to say, let's see what the game's like.
Yeah.
And props to RC, a lot of them said a lot of the features are actually they wish there was back then. Even I wish it was back then. Like
Yeah,
combat
same.
rewards, I would have
Like,
loved that
I would
that
have
existed back then.
killed for AI fighters back
A,
in like
a
late
lot
beta.
of like the thing is, RC gets a lot of hate for most of it, but it's also because a lot of people came recently, never saw what the game used to be.
Earthan,
So
imagine Blackhand with combat rewards when we did that
You're
like
like-
70 mil in like a week.
Yeah.
Holy.
Like, the thing is, what people don't realize, a lot of people here, especially now, in this voice chat, a lot of people here actually only started peaking like 2020, 2019 late. So they only saw that area, and that was a good point in the game because it was actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, like
And they're comparing it to
pre-gamma-
now, and that's why they complain. They only complain. But if you played
Uh-huh.
from 2017, 2018, there's a lot of features nowadays which are actually a lot better than they were.
Late beta,
Especially lag. Lag was
It's
horrible.
like late beta, pre-gamma, and early gamma are kind of like amazing parts of Galaxy. Like,
yeah.
2020 Halloween was the most fun I've ever had on Galaxy. Like,
Oh yeah, exploiting was rampant, but it was beautiful. Like,
exploiting
there
was
something-
rampant, but that event was just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it was
The
so
thing is,
good.
well,
I
the thing
remember
is,
like
a lot of people
how fun
didn't
it
care
was.
about exploiting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
exploiting. No one.
I remember
because
how fun
everyone
it
who
was
exploited
with
back
the big
then didn't
groups.
use it to hurt. Yeah.
like part of what made it so fun back then, it was just the sheer number of big groups. You know, I remember like WCS almost lost 7 Lucifers in one go because they were going to take a picture at Mothership and someone had got Mothership onto like a K-hole ready for them to warp over. And I just remember like that sort of stuff was hilarious. Like when I remember doing like the big fleet battle against LS, that was really fun. Like because it was just so many people. Like part of what makes Galaxy. I know it's like difficult because you've got to keep players retained, but if you can keep players retained, it makes the game so much fun. If you can have like enough people, because like with the LS battle, they lost 3 supercaps, we lost 1. Like if you've got people with enough status in the
so
game and enough
fun.
money and enough time and enough, you keep them engaged enough and they have these supercats and stuff, and you can do big fleet battles. It is the funnest part of the game. When you're having like a 24 people versus 24 people in one go, it's
so
laggy
good.
and it's a complete mess, but it is so fun.
Dude,
Like
there
it
was,
brings
like-
out its own beauty.
That's
Thing
what
is, there
made
was,
Galaxy
like,
fun.
There was like a fleet
Thing is,
battle
honestly-
that, my thing, it was Frameworks participated in about early 2021. It was early 2021, and it was like
It was prior to February.
yeah, it was prior to February. It was, I think it was us versus Zero Corps or Stormwatch, XC or SW. But it was downright one of the most fun things I've ever done in Galaxy. Like, it was just an amazing experience, and when you actually get that volume of players on, and like good players as well, like Twan was there, it was great.
Yeah, and I just want to say something to RC. I think I speak for me, Revi, Irfan, and Yname when I say I just want to thank you for the opportunity of Dev. I understand it must have been hard to promote someone like me. I remember like you saying like you don't ever want to give someone who has like a lot of quote unquote political power like a staff role again in Galaxy, and I did see this in play when like you picked between Irfan and like Rocket, right? Rocket didn't really have much political power, and he's a good choice too. But I just want to say that I feel like looking back, my original run as mod and admin, it really wasn't good. It was messy and rocky. I didn't do the most responsible things. I was incompetent. But being dev, I feel like I've been more accepted by the community, and I feel like I have more power to do what I want to do to the game and make it better.
Yeah.
And so I just want to thank you for the opportunity, despite all the hardship that you probably must have endured.
Oh, you're doing great. Great job.
Yeah, it was very educational, and I mean, I was planning on resigning because, you know, I didn't really have much activity. I'm going to a new school. I know it's getting pretty difficult, right? But looking at it now, it's like I feel like I kind of want to stay, make this game better than it already is. I mean, because now that I look at it, I peek into general, people are like, this game's ass. I'm like, hey, maybe I could fix that. And I feel like Revy, Irfan, like YNAME, we all could probably, like, you know, chip in and help, play our part in making this game better, push it into getting more players and making it fun for everyone. And the only thing we really need to accomplish this is just more perms and your trust, really. And yeah, as Irfan and Revy already said, we all we all have extreme dedication to the game. I know I've been really stupid in some of my decisions. Revy also has admitted that he's also been pretty stupid, and you know, Irfan's just been tossed around like a punching bag time to time, and it's, you know, it's like we all want to be able to help you in making this game better.
Make sure you get your scripts, much more timely basis.
I think
I need to be more active. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think while we're on the topic, RC, I just want to say, like, I don't want you to take this as like, you know, I don't want you to go ahead and then go like, right, okay, so what they're asking for is like give devs everything right away. I don't think that's the way to do it, because you're not going to be happy with that, and the devs need more plans. There's no way. So I think what a more, if you want to see it as a long-term solution is that you drip do it. You do it drip by drip, and you decide what you're comfortable with, what the devs having, and different roles having.
Yeah.
And if they want it increased, you look at it and you do it. Maybe, you know, if they want add ship perms, you do that individually first, and you can wait a while to see how that goes. And if it gets, do you know what I mean? If you're not comfortable or people start doing stuff you don't like, you can then interject. Or I think that's the best way of approaching this now, because I completely agree with you. Like, it gets abused. Like, but. And then again, it's about trying to balance it so that the abuse doesn't stop the game developing, because you take away all the perms. But the flip side, obviously, we can't have people just constantly abusing. So I think maybe trying to do it drip by drip. If I don't know what your opinion on that is, like, you know, I don't know how difficult that would be to do. I don't know how you have the role set up.
If that includes team creating, that's quite a jump. There's no drip. I mean,
I mean, I get what you mean, but like in general, like the devs were asking for add ship, and that got fixed. Like stuff like that, you know, like drip feeding it. Even if you have to make even if you want the dev director to have it first before the devs and then fed down, even that, just anything that means like you so long as you feel like you're comfortable with it. Even like, I'm not talking about necessarily team create, but like perms, like commands and stuff that the devs would find useful, anything like that. Like if you prefer to drip feed that in, I'm sure the devs would prefer that than not have it at all.
Any perms that the devs have, future devs are going to abuse, maybe even current devs.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. Like, you can't change that. It's just how it is.
So minimizing their risk is a good thing.
Yeah. And RC, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I want to say that while being able to script for Galaxy alongside you has been quite an adventure, and one that I've kind of longed for a while. Being able to display my work and my efforts in front of a community of thousands of people, it's been really wonderful, and I feel like being able to, at some point in the future, manage this game alongside you, and you know, hopefully like being able to manage the game and like Discord and all that, like alongside you, would probably be wonderful too. But as Revy said, that it would take it'll take a lot of time and effort, and being able to prove to you that I'm trustful enough, and that Revy is also trustful enough to, you know, for us to be able to get all of these perms and all of these stuff sorted out. And I feel like, being able to go a step by step would be a pretty decent method of going by it. Like, you know, slowly giving devs more, like gradually giving them like more and more perms, working it up, and then eventually being able to, you know, look at the dev team and say, hey, they're running really well. They're doing these things, this game, and they're really driving it to a newfound, like height. Yeah, like they're really driving it up. And I like Revi said, you don't want to do anything that you're probably gonna regret. You want to look at your dev team and feel proud, knowing that these are the people who are powering your game. And if you give them too much perms, you're gonna look at them and be like, I don't know about this. And so you want to be able to look at them proud.
I don't know if increasing dev perms, other than future core devs having team create, is a good thing.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, the dev perms at the moment are, they're debatable, but at the same time, pretty fine. But I guess, yeah.
Of course, devs being able to add themselves adminships, that's definitely something we need and something RC wants to add.
I also feel like, I guess, yeah, you could say that giving the whole entire dev team such perms would probably be able to be abused in the future. But I guess you could say I'm talking about both myself and YNAME just, being able to give us the perms that we need as scripting department members.
Well, I want you to have everything you need, but I'm kind of curious what you mean.
Well, I'm saying access to all of the scripts that may be necessary for implementing features, such as we'll need access to scripts, and then we'll need pretty much every module in the server to
I guess you could say that, but at the same time, I'm saying that, like, to make it clear, I'm saying that myself, I want to be able to not only script for this game, but also be able to, like, to take on, like, the perms that, like, let's say, for example, like, you have, like, minified perms that you have, like, being able to have not only more perms within the game, and also the Discord too. Like, because like I invited you earlier today to, like, the Galaxy support server. That was my idea. I thought that the tickets currently like in this server are kind of unorganized, and people who are banned from this server aren't able to, like, get support that they need. And so I saw that people who were banned were, like, getting really frustrated that they weren't able to get support. And because of that, I decided, hey, let's make a new server, a separate server, where it's like there's not much of a chance for you to get banned from it, so that you can get support from staff no matter if you're in the server or not. You simply go to that server, you open up a ticket and ask, hey, I want to get this ship refunded, or hey, I want to report this bug. Ideas like this is something I want to be able to incorporate, and I really like how I was able to work with Rocket to be able to create that server. And I feel like if I were able to be able to get, like, more and more, permissions, and also Revi and Irfan, all of us be able to get the permissions that we want, so that we can continue to incorporate our ideas into the game, and be able to drive it into a better position. And
wow.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Nobody cares,
God
dude.
damn.
And that was never done, bruh.
Thank you, Jay.
Bruh.
Rip never done.
Wait,
Wow.
talk about like X staff being funny. There you go.
Oh,
Like Jay.
my
Thank you very much,
Oh,
Jay, for that lovely interjection.
Oh,
Yes.
my lord.
Very helpful.
Whoa.
There's a
Wow.
little bit of trolling.
Productive addition to the conversation, man.
Yeah.
Corey, that's very protective
Yeah.
conversation.
Sorry, RC, may I apologise, and may you
Mission
meet
complete.
the other dev advisor, Navardin, the screaming goat.
That's who.
I never knew Navadan was a girl, bro. No true.
yeah. Anyways, RC, like, do you have any, like, questions you'd like to ask me, or
Questions,
want me
comments,
to
concerns.
explain some more about what I intend to do?
No, not really. I've just been kind of listening. I was curious. What kind of perm? Are you talking about Discord perms or in-game perms? You want to be more of an admin? Is that what you're talking?
What I'm trying to say is I kind of want a mixture of both.
Well, I mean,
it's impossible, really, yeah. But I'm talking about like the minified perms that you might have, like both, like basically, like, talking about, like, well, like, yeah, being able to script for the game, right? Like that I'm already able to do. But I'm also talking about having the perms to be able to add new like things, like the community, like let's say, I don't know how to explain it, but like I guess you could say just like being able to give me, Revy, and Irfan like perms, kind of like be able to manage. Like I'm able to script the game, right? But,
Tell me one thing you'd like to be able to do, so I can get a feeling for what you're talking about.
So, one thing that I would like is my ship setting script. It is a bit dangerous because future devs could abuse it, or current devs could say, for example, if you own a Wasp, automatically give you 1,000,000 credits. However, it has strict logging and it fails the transaction if the log doesn't work.
yeah. Okay. I think I figured out a pretty decent way to put into words what I'm thinking of. But I also, at the same time, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I'm pretty sure you're probably not going to like the idea. But hey, I'm going to say it anyways. So what I basically want is have the perms that, Script and Parliament has, like, be able to develop for the game, be able to script for the game. But at the same time, have perms like head of staff where I'm able to make changes to the Discord server to better it and make it so that, people who are in this Discord server have a better time. Who are
I do not want more Discord perms. I do not want more administrative perms. I want more development perms.
Development perms are the main thing, I'd say,
that is
because
also
like
the main thing.
there is lots
That's
of
what I'm
like
striving for.
I know what you mean by like. Well, for example, it's just like stuff like
making a
you.
power grab.
No, I'm not trying to get him.
It appears that Sugan D's wants admin.
Oh,
I pop in the chat for 1 second in here and give me head of staff perms.
Yeah, that's. I think like
you
one
should know
name says.
head of staff perms.
Yeah, that's probably not the way to get. I think like
I
like
agree.
one name said, it's little things like
Yeah.
that make a big difference.
No,
like,
I'm just saying. It's because the thing is, yeah, like Revy said before, it's best to give it gradually, and like I'm just saying this like right now to give some transparency on what my thought process is and what I'm striving for in the end. Being able to manage like be able to script for the game and incorporate my ideas into the game, but not only the game, the Discord too. Be able to help the staff members do what they need and be able to make the Discord server better than better and like listen to the community, see what they want, and be able to give them a Discord server that they want, that they will like, and a game that they would also want and like.
On another note, I think like it's perfectly fine to have like you to have strict like rules. So like for example with the permits, right? Chip said that he's got a command that can reduce permit prices and stuff, right? And when the permits were really, 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 really expensive, right? That was a big issue. But Chip was really, really nervous because you told him not to use it, but then he's got that debate of like you went around, right? So there has to be a point where Chip calls it like quits almost and has to do something because it creates that issue of players can't get super caps because a permit's 10 mil. Like that's just ridiculous. So I think like if you were to give perms, like for example that perm, if you told Chip like if you went around for like a certain amount of time, so say like 2 weeks, right? And there was an issue of like permit prices like scaling ridiculously, like to 10 mil for an SC permit. If you told Chip at that point he was allowed to go and do that, that would already have created a better function there, because when it was brought up to Chip was basically like, if I do that, I'm just going to get, I'm too scared of getting demoted. And then the problem is that SC permit prices were like, what, 9, almost 10 mil for ages, weren't they?
Yeah.
How high was it? It got really ridiculous.
It was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb.
The highest I've ever seen, it was like 9 through 10 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
It
Irfan
literally
wants to
went
say
to
that,
10 mil.
Irfan wants to say that it's hard for him to do staff reforms when he has to deal with issues like waiting for RC because he's only co-AD and he has to, he requires RC's rockets overrule. And so it's he wants to be able to help reform his staff team, make it better, but it's hard to do so when Rocket's already filled, like because he's just a single individual, right? He has to deal with like tickets and giving people like things and like refunds and all that, managing a staff team. He has to do a lot, and so if it's a bit of a stretch when Irfan's trying to reform the staff team, but Rocket's not there to help him in doing so.
Well, all I can say is I'm gonna do a better job. Staying around.
I'm glad.
In the future, the permissions I would like to have are access to renaming and automatically giving people money back for ships if we decide to remove them. For example, I would like to remove the Retro Naglfar because it's useless, it's hard to balance, and nobody in the dev team likes it. And
I
I-
the entire game owns it, so it has no point in existing.
Whining. I literally just won a Retro Naglfar like less than a week ago. Seriously?
And we would like to have our ship settings.
Credits.
Yes, the ship settings script in DevScript reads from the game settings and automatically gives people the game setting specified number of credits for that ship, even if it's red boxed. And it removes it from their inventory. I would like that to be in main. It does require trusting developers further, but I think that's a risk worth taking. And then in the further future, I'd hope to, in 2 years or so, have Team Create.
Yeah. I feel like me and Wyname as scripting department members, I feel like we could use a bit more trust in being able to get more perms to do things I need, like, scripting, right? Because at the same time, it's never seen before. Like, I think that people who were playing the game back in 2017 or were in the community in 2017 would ever have thought that devs would be able to, like, the Galaxy would have devs like specialized to scripting.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we're even able to have this opportunity to have two devs who are very smart and able to script. And so it's really it's really crazy. But yeah, I feel like if we could get a bit more things that we need, and why I'm like just said it, yeah, it'd probably be more helpful.
I've got to go, so I'm just going to say before I go, the only thing that we can like really ask for is just to try and get you to realise that we do care. We when I don't think many of us are going to like abuse anything, especially not for the time being. I mean, I know for a fact that me, Sugon, Wyname, Earthfam, we do genuinely care, and all we can ask is that you just try and trust us. Like, I know it's difficult, this community's not got the best rep for being trustful, and I completely agree with you that it's not always the most ideal thing. But there you go. That's all we can ask, I suppose. All right, I've got to go.
Thank you,
Randy.
Thank you. See you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to expand on it, yeah, I guess Revi was right. A lot of the things he said were very well said, yeah. And I also wanted to ask you one more thing. Do you think it'd be possible to make it so that the game can automatically push stats to the Galaxypedia?
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, as long as any webhook, I'm sure it could.
Yeah.
It changes all the time. That's the only thing.
I can switch it myself.
Because I want to be able to make it so that the game can push ship stats to the Galaxypedia. Because as you know, I mean, it's like when you take a good look at Wikipedia, right, and you see how it's always up to date, and you wonder how they do that. It's because there's thousands of people who are constantly editing it, and so in a community like Galaxy, which only averages about 10 active editors a day, for Galaxypedia, it's difficult to be able to keep all 600 pages up to date. And so we have to utilize automation wherever we can. And so I think that being able to make it so that the game can automatically update and edit the Galaxypedia through the API would help immensely in, being able to give this community a better sense, a better Galaxypedia, a better place where they can view ship stats.
Yeah, I think we could make an admin command for that. Just update wiki. And have it hit the web server with the info. I'm sure we could work that out.
I would also, if possible, I'd like admin library to be more modular with one command per script, so that devs can create commands without having to have the entire admin script.
Okay. I know why it's not modular right now, but I think I could change that.
All right.
I could do that for you.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's good to have you back. I'm pretty glad. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we already explained a lot of the things that we've already explained, and I mean, if William, do you want to say anything else?
Yes, I'd like the admin script system to be similar to object class, which is a brilliant system that RC has made. I wanted a way for players to walk through things like anti-ship doors for Megabase, so that you can't fly ship in a Megabase. So I made an object class and I just added it to dev scripts, and it just works.
Well, when you see admin script, you probably like it. I'll get something together for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to expand on the whole, script library idea. If you could find a time to be able to make something like that, where you could possibly put the scripts on something like GitHub, right? Make a private GitHub. I'd be happy to send you my GitHub details, right? And yeah, if we could somehow figure out a way where we can have the scripts displayed there for us to just for me and YNAME, so we can go and view the scripts, discuss them, what can we do to make it better, because as you said, when you were giving me that one script for the ship turret indicators, you really only you made it in 2016 and never touched it again. And so I feel like we could probably find a lot of scripts where me and YNAME could probably go and rewrite it with using more modern functions and make it faster.
Turrets specifically are modern.
Yeah.
But there are some things that have not been changed in a long time.
Yeah, and so if we were able to get a good outline of the scripts inside of the game without having the essential ones, because scripts let's say the one of the anti-cheat, right, and let's say local some of those server side scripts which are essential in running the game, I feel like those can be left out. But
have you actually been able to get Rojo to work well for you? Because I have actually tried this, but
yes. Galaxy actually has a lot of remodel-based automation in it already because of me.
Nice.
So you have
to update.
Yes, I have. Rojo has a scripting tool called Remodel. And it can download Roblox assets, modify them, and then re-upload them. So I could create a script that would read a GitHub repository. Automatically, when you update it using GitHub Actions, it can use Rojo to build that as a place, then Remodel to read the dev scripts out of that, and then upload the dev scripts as a Roblox asset so that it can be read in game.
Yeah, we might be able to just put, like he says, put certain scripts in there, but not all of them. I mean, that's certainly things I would never want anybody to have. But
if we were the scripts like that, it'd probably be it'd be detrimental to the game, because you don't want people to go around uploading copies of Galaxy. It'd be pretty bad, and that's why I'm saying if we could have most of the scripts, but not the essential ones required to run the game, they'd be really good. Every single script, but not the ones that are really easy.
You won't have enough to run your own Galaxy in Studio, but I mean, at least you'd have a reference, maybe.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yes, I find it difficult to add modules because I have to know how the other APIs work, and there is no documentation. All that I can do is require the modules, iterate over the properties of it, and print it out.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult, and does not give me a good overview of how the game works.
Yeah.
I have used that to find ways to implement things like ship settings, or there was another module that required that as well. There was a subsystem that I was implementing that required knowing how data module worked, I think. It was related to logging.
I'm trying to make a GitHub. I already played with this a little bit, but yeah, I think we could make a GitHub and just start putting a few things in there and just see how that goes. I mean, that could be a big pain in the ass too.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to, talk to me or whine, I mean, the scripting department and group chat's always there. So yeah, I mean, I usually use it to discuss like things like if I need help from whining or you, yeah, I usually just talk in there. It's a really convenient thing to have. We could we could go and have calls in there too, if you'd ever like. But generally speaking, I feel like the GitHub idea would be a pretty good. It would be pretty good, and yeah, having a way to like have a reference of like let's say I'm trying to develop like a script like RC, I'm pretty sure you already know about like my little like board on the Trello, right? And it has a list of all the things I intend to add to the game, and I'm like constantly updating it, and so yeah, being able to like have things there to help me like have me like there's some documentation or like scripts already there so I can figure out how things work. Like like Juanim just said, referencing over scripts. It's difficult to do so when you're only given one script. So, yeah.
We'll do something about that.
Yeah. And also about the player trading, do you ever think that you'd want to add that? Because I think I've noticed that it's probably out of my scope. I don't think I'd be able to. I could help develop it, but in terms of like initiating of development on it, I feel like that'd be more of a you thing.
I guess the first thing is, do I want that?
That's true, yeah.
I think that no is the most likely answer because of the risks with trading.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get most of my
Battle had a terrible black market. Like
yeah.
I thought it was a great idea too, and then all of a sudden people are making Robux undercutting, all my like gold.
Yeah, when player trading was
something else cheaper.
When player trading was first brought to discussion for the community before I was developer, I wrote a 15-paragraph essay in support of it, but I no longer support it.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like most of my ideas I get for Galaxy come from looking at other games and seeing what makes them unique and what makes them attractive to players, right? Like what their player base likes. So I take a good look at Elite and like Eve and Starscape, games like those, right? Yeah. And when I look at Starscape, I'm like, it has a decent trading system, being able because like when I used to play Starscape a bit, right? Since I bought it like pre-alpha, like I played it for a bit and for a while, and I remember like joining this clan, right? And I was like a bad player. I'm like, man, I really don't know how to play this game. They gave me like a pretty good starter ship, like a miner, right? And then they invited me to go out and mine with them, and they taught me how to mine and like all the good strategies on mining. And I really like that idea of them being able to give me like the things I need to like like them being able to like gift me something, like being able to like give me something I need like to get myself started and being able to teach me, like going and mining with them. Because if you really think about it, Galaxy is about team, but like teams and like friendship. And if the game is based around teams, right, co-op, I feel like it'd be a better decision to have a trading system where people can progress together and they can gift themselves ships. If like let's say like a person, like two people are playing Galaxy, right, like friends in a private server, one person gets enough to get a good miner, but then they don't know what they want to do with their other miner. They'll give it to their friends so that their friends can continue mining too. You see, they can progress together, and I feel like it'd be a really intuitive idea. It's just it requires a lot of maintenance to be able to perfect and make sure people don't start selling like let's say permits for like the real world money. But at the same time, I'd probably just limit it to either build menu ships and select limiteds.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The thing with trading is multi-box auto miner fleets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's also a
mining,
thing.
They can get ships and trade it to their main.
Yeah, that's also easily. A thing that I was thinking about. When the idea was first brought up, like me and Wine, we had a discussion about it. A long discussion too. It'd be really hard to prevent people from like doing it between their alt accounts, and while there is necessarily not much of an issue with people being able to trade for your alt accounts, it is when you take into consideration people are able to auto mine, and they'll be able to give like their alts really good ships, and go around flying a prototype X1 that they auto mine
Other
for.
thing that can happen with the the trading system is that people can exploit it, so they will
Exactly.
find a way to duplicate dreadnoughts or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's
I
another
remember I
problem.
was on
X1s
another
and
game
duping.
with that system, and I started duping the shit ton of items and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to
Yeah,
implement that into the game.
and I also want to I guess like the ship trading system, it really does require a lot of consideration, but I feel like it could do good for Galaxy to be able to play with your friends, be able to progress with your friends, like actually introduce a co-op to Galaxy.
How about just making making requests to trade ships, so and then we could just look over the logs just in case it was an
I mean, I
alt or
guess that could already you could already do that, but it would give devs more to put on their plate. I mean,
Yeah, if
admins.
you make it so that people request trade, that would fill so many logs.
That
so
it
many
really
things.
would, and it would overwhelm the admin team. I don't think it'd be a great idea.
I agree.
You guys can put it to 1 month. You can only trade one chip.
Yeah. Put
for
it
1
Refund,
month.
refund requests are already filled up with stuff, so.
I mean, I guess, but yeah.
Like every day, thousands of tangos will be traded between people. Tango requests all
It's
over the
that
place.
that and another
jeez.
another idea I was thinking about was I don't know, wait. I did not realize my Trello was this empty. But yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
another note, it's like if you give a good look at Elite and see how like it's appealing, it's because of one, its graphics, and two, how sophisticated the game is. There's many
I
ways
agree.
to make money. You can go bounty hunting, you can go like mining, you can go combat,
Trading.
PvE, trading too. Yeah,
I think.
and yeah,
Sorry.
and I think that if you if we take a bit from these games, learn how they're driving in players, right? I feel like we can incorporate some of their practices into Galaxy, right? Make it some like there's like more variety to the game. Make it cooler, make it more unique, because Galaxy is already really unique. It does take a lot from Eve, but generally speaking, it's unique, and so it's if we were to give Galaxy more more of a way to present
More
itself to
replayability.
people, and give more to the game, like features, make it more enjoyable. And speaking when I first played Starscape after it released out of beta, or I mean, I don't know if it's still in beta, but when it actually released, right? I played it and I was like, Jesus Christ, man, how did Kef build such a game? Everything seems to have taken so long, because it was detailed down to the inch, man. The whole planet warping system, the planet ring system, and even the AIs of the things that try to shoot you down, and the whole contested system, the way Kef made it is the effort he put into it, it was really admirable to me. And looking at Galaxy, I'm like, this game looks much more simple than Starscape. It the graphics and everything. It feels more of an arcade game, whereas Starscape feels actually like a space game. And so I feel like if we were to modernize some of the aspects of Galaxy, add more to it, make it feel more modern, and instead of an arcade game, it would really be, it would probably drive in a lot of players. And
RC, I think that Starscape is far less replayable than Galaxy.
That is
a
true.
lot of
I
its
agree. That is
subsystems,
so true.
the way that they were implemented, were considered for Galaxy, but then RC decided on a different route that is more replayable, however less friendly to new players.
Yeah.
Such as systems. Galaxy in 2018, was it? RC implemented systems, decided it was bad for the game, and didn't add it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also was gonna think. I mean, this is probably. I don't know. This is just out of my own curiosity. But RC, do you ever think that you'd want to port Galaxy to something like Unreal or Unity?
Would be funny.
I have definitely thought about it, but that would be an enormous amount of work. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Rewriting it
Definitely be a
to
really big stepping stone.
the models could somewhat be transferred, but their collisions would not be.
Yeah.
Their objects would not be.
Yeah.
So you can export the model itself as an OBJ and MTL, but that's the extent of Roblox to Unreal.
Yeah, I was talking more about the code. I mean, I'd be taking Lua and making something object-oriented. It's probably C.
C is very difficult.
There'll also be higher expectations.
I guess,
on,
yeah, and also the servers, man. It'd be difficult to make multiplayer. You know,
at this point, it's too late to turn back.
No, it's because I guess the main reason why Galaxy is on Roblox is because if you think about it, games like Elite and Eve are backed by a company, but if you think about it, Galaxy is backed by volunteers. So
Also, literally, like Eve was released in like 2001, and RC, considering that he did quite a lot. Like, I'm not an alpha player. I played in beta, like mid beta, but I'm pretty sure this game was released in like 2015. And considering that there's a 14-year gap between the two games, it's pretty impressive how much RC was able to get done.
yeah, I mean,
You
his
also
effort
have to think
put
about
into
money. Like,
yeah, his effort put into
things like-
Galaxy was very
things
commendable,
like
too.
things like Eve are backed by big companies where they pay and hire professional devs to dev the game. Whereas
Movement in
devs
Eve is
are-
sucky.
Yeah, whereas here the devs are basically volunteers and they make Robux instead of like money.
But
The devs
most
that
of
dev
us
for Eve-
actually don't really ask for it
It's
because I mean,
basically
like
the
Ugly
devs
said,
that dev
Ugly
for
doesn't
Eve are on,
get
like,
revenue.
a paycheck. And they're also
Yeah.
professionals.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but in terms of payment, I mean, like Ugly said, he didn't really ask for any sort of payment, from Chip and stuff. Neither do I really. Like Chip is like says payday. I'm like, hey, can you just give me like 500 so I can upload an audio? Yeah, like I don't really get paid for the sake of being a dev. I only get paid so I can like upload audios and shit, you know.
You don't
I
even
know
get
if you
paid
want
to
it.
buy AI fighters? Oh my.
Yeah, no, it's because I don't play Galaxy, you know, and nor do I really play Roblox, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
like, I don't play Roblox. Like I don't know. It's like most of my time is spent usually either, you know, just like chilling, you know,
I
going
haven't-
outside, going to school,
I haven't
you know, doing
played
homework.
other games on Roblox when it's not with
Me neither.
someone. When it's not like
Exactly.
someone else asking me to. Since,
Exactly.
like,
I would never play Roblox by myself, to be
I
honest.
haven't
At
done
this
that
point in
since
time.
like 2017.
Yeah. And so I was like thinking, you know, it's like, but I also never think of my own curiosity. RC, what did you think of me back in like, you know, early 2021 or like in the midst of the Enigma Cache incident?
Oh no! Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think everyone was present for that.
Yeah.
I don't remember your involvement specifically in Enigma Cache, but you just seem immature to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, you got me demoted with one of the gifts that you made and told me to post.
I was
and then decided to make a fan fiction with the admin director, and then got demoted for that.
A minor amount of trolling, I'd say.
Jeez, I just remember that.
A minuscule amount of trolling.
What was it? That was
It's
when was
Arctic.
Enigma Cache? Was that March?
April.
Oh,
20
April.
April 27th.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a date you memorized, Dylan.
When was the last
How
time
many people got prototypes from RC using money they duped from the Enigma Cache?
Like 5.
Yeah.
hilarious.
At least
The chip just does the quest a few times and then he gets himself a brand new deity, only to get it taken away by like Smokey.
So we were talking about like dev payment, but I'm just wondering, is there any possibility of like admin payment?
No.
I mean,
No.
I'm not an admin for the money. I do it because I like refund requesting.
Yeah, but
I
then you
like doing
decided
all
you
admin
want AI
duties, but
fighters, and you're like, hey, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I think with Starscape's trading system specifically, the reason it doesn't backfire for the game is because in Starscape, everyone is not connected to everyone else by the economy.
If we
The
were to get
economy,
paid, it would probably be through our suit.
when auto mining happens, or black marketing happens, or duping happens, the general economy is not damaged badly because everyone is kept separate in Starscape. And I think this damages
The
replayability.
economy got wrecked so many times that
I
that's
know.
wrong.
Starscape's economy got wrecked. I saw destroyers go up for like 1 mil, now they're for like 400k.
Yeah, I have on Starscape a duped destroyer
Fair enough.
because Hyoxel had the stale data bug.
why name caught lacking?
Sorry, I mean,
If you become an item, they will be duped.
sorry,
That's
I
just
mean,
the
I
reality.
have a conciliator that I just
Yeah. Clipping.
Well, I mean, my alt had a Stratos and died in the Stratos with a conciliator and in the Stratos, so that I wouldn't be traced.
Comical.
Except they ended up not taking them away from anyone, even if they just got traded.
They don't have a good detection system for that, I'm pretty sure.
Ow.
So
Yeah,
I
Starscape
guess.
does have logs, but they decided not to trace everything and ban everyone.
So I guess with the admin payouts, it's probably not something I think would mostly be focused towards dev, right?
No, the most I'd ask for is a little more than 1 hour of mining worth of credits.
Yeah, same. It just, yeah.
Okay, I'm not getting too greedy.
Just have Rocket talk to me at DMs about that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what the system is. I can't really comment on it.
Oh yeah, nobody knows what it is. It's his own thing.
Yeah, well, nobody knows what it is because it's an admin chat thing.
Oh.
No, we can
Okay.
chat, remember.
The most Rocket has paid so far
Oh my
Like,
god, Dylan.
in total is like 275,000 for an entire month's work. And that's it.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean,
Why
Why-
wait till getting paid if you can dupe, right?
I mean, it's not my problem. I don't really mind. this
Yeah,
way.
I don't really mind either. It's just like I was just hearing, oh, devs
The
getting
main
paid.
problem is that generating money inflates the economy and drives the prices of permits up.
Yeah.
Ah,
Like when an admin gets a super cap that they got with money from being an admin, that means that everyone else has to grind.
I mean, no, I mean not like
I mean, it's just
game
like an
currency.
hour
I'm
or
saying
two
something
worth.
similar to devs, like in terms of Robux.
I don't expect it.
I don't expect it at all either. I'm just putting that idea out there.
I don't think our current would really.
it would have to be something like the current dev system, the dev group system.
Which
As
would
far as
just
me
be-
paying directly, I don't see that happening.
Which would
Because
just be determined.
already I would be managing, and I just think.
Oh yeah.
It would just
Uh,
be detracting
Galaxy's
money away from devs.
main income having a percentage go to devs will not work because Galaxy is not owned by a group.
Right.
If Galaxy were under a group account,
Like a
then
company.
RT could set like a Roblox
No,
group.
a
He could set it.
Roblox group.
Yeah, I know.
He could set it to give us a percentage and give himself the rest, but he cannot do that because it's under his personal account. Because it's under his personal account, he can't set it to give us some of the funding.
Yeah, but I do like how the devs did their own group selling certain limited ships, and that does give them some revenue to play with, and I'm kind of okay with that as long as those don't become the best ships in the game. It's there's definitely a limit to what I'm going to allow, but
The Capisi is the best carrier in the game, but it's not the best ship in the game. There are better
What's
ships.
a carrier?
The
I mean,
Capisi.
carriers usually get focus in combat, so.
Yeah, it's only got 18k health, combined hull shield.
then
And
you
yes, it does have
Subjugator
like the
with
best
stuff that's
AI fighters, but
comparable to almost 40,000
No.
health.
It also
I think-
costs over $100, so
I think Prometheus has the best AIs.
Some duping.
oh seriously.
Prometheus does have the best AIs. Yes.
So
That's
what?
only
So
'cause
what
its
is it? It's
fighters use
Prometheus,
and
AI
they
fighters
blast.
I'm
is
sorry,
the
my
best,
internet
and then
went down.
Capisi is the best.
Capisi has the most
Carrier.
raw DPS.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh.
I was gonna say about the admin pay thing before my internet
Although
went down.
I did recently nerf Capisi.
I think that admins, if they were to get paid,
Oh no!
because I don't know, I mean, the modeler.
Your
group-
mic.
What's up with my mic?
You lagged. There was like a big
Yeah, my-
pause.
No, he's not lagging.
My internet is actually like dying.
Nice.
But yeah, thing about the admin pay, they'd probably have to be through RC, through staff group probably too. I mean, I don't know, RC. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you should have put Galaxy when you were like making the game. You should put it under like a group instead of like profile. So that way
I
you
don't
can
know-
have like, a better reservoir of a place to store your Robux. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
If
different in 2015.
yeah, I don't know if these games existed in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
it didn't. Oh,
Yeah, that wasn't a thing back then.
no, it wasn't.
no, that was.
Here, I actually have a question for RC.
All right.
So, when you first were creating the game, I know that you created Field of Battle prior, and I played that as well. But did you expect Galaxy to blow up like it did when it came to popularity?
Guessing you're talking about pre-alpha because I was not ready for the game to be on front page at that moment. It was too buggy, and I think that hurt the game overall. But I kind of knew I was the only. I didn't even have any really space competition at the time, so I thought I could do something with it. So I had big things. I mean, I planned to succeed at the time.
I mean, I feel like Galaxy, yeah, like Ali said, it does have a lot of potential. It's just needing to be milked, really. Anyways, is Whining still here or is he gone? Oh,
Yes,
hi,
I'm
Whining.
still here.
I
There's-
call.
But, or also, RC, like, what do you think about, like, the staff team as a whole?
What? No, I'm glad I have staff. What else can I say?
I mean, it's 'cause, I feel like, do you think the staff team could be improved more? Or is it like,
Well, it's hard to even answer that because I haven't been here for 3 weeks, but self-sustain. I'm all about self-sustaining, and I think everything except scripters can self-sustain. But I don't know. I think it works well. I think it's balanced well. I know some people don't want more power than they have, and they don't really understand why I took the power away to begin with. But there was reasons.
well, I think the people, what they're trying to say is that they don't want power to be removed, like, from now on, but more so added. Like, they don't want perm nerfs. That's what I'm basically seeing.
I'm not sure about this, but RC, what do you think about setting up some kind of system where if you haven't updated the game in a year, the dev director automatically gets some kind of dev script system for main?
Well, how would it happen exactly?
Because I'm pretty sure there is a Roblox API that you can check when the game was last updated, so that if you disappear for over a year, then Chip automatically gets perms.
Well, why can't you just technically call the game like the Roblox API, like the game?
Yes, you
API?
can.
Yes, and you just do
Well, if you use a proxy, but the issue with that is that you have to use a proxy. I think there is a Studio API that you can use to get the game metadata.
I think unless I'm dead, if it goes a year without me getting on here, I think I would get on and just give it away. But I don't see that happening. I mean, it's still got players, but maybe if the game dies, maybe I don't know. I think I would give it away I would give it to the highest dev at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to ask, like, do you ever think that you'll like get tired of Galaxy and just give it away to someone?
Well, I'm hoping my son, who's also 15, could take it over one day. I don't really play it much anymore. I kind of just play around spawning aliens. You've seen me.
Yeah, that's fun.
Spawning Irad.
You killed a 2018 ship with one of your nuke spawns once.
Yeah, stuff like that's fun for me, but I don't play it much. But developing is fun for me. Sometimes it becomes a job for me, and that's what I don't like. When it becomes like I'm working for people or I have a boss, and I don't want to feel like I have a boss ever. I mean, I work for myself, civilian too. So, but I think I'm back now. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. So I think things will improve starting today.
I mean, I feel like in terms of owning the game, with the exception of your son, I feel like either Yname or like Chip or someone probably be good to own the game. I mean, Yname's already working on Universe. So I don't know how that's going. I mean, last I heard about it, Yname gave me admin.
He's not really like working on that much.
On Universe, I've transitioned from being the main developer from it, and I've given that to Tardis, and I intend to implement features that Galaxy does not have.
Is that playable by anybody, Universe?
Yes, but it doesn't have a lot of content yet.
And it's very laggy.
Yeah, there's some kind of performance issue that I'll have to investigate.
I think that Dex scanner is very laggy. I looked at the code. I'll tell you why on DMs later.
But honestly,
yeah, I see why it is.
I feel like if we were able to make Galaxy accessible on other platforms would also be a good idea. Like being able to make it like mobile or tablet. Well, not really mobile because the map would just cover the whole screen. But yeah, tablet, iPad.
Well, hasn't it been partially accessible to stuff like that anyways? Like, as far as I can tell, legit Western Spy is a big player and he only plays on his tablet, or at least that's what he says.
Yeah, legit Western Spy has been playing for years on iPad.
There was
but really?
Is it even possible to play it on iPad?
Yes.
I didn't even know he played it. I didn't even know he played on iPad.
In like 2019 that played a bunch, but he only played on tablet, and he was good, but he just couldn't aim spinals to save his life.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's because you can't hover the mouse on an iPad.
Your spinal aim assist on tablet one.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I was also gonna say, like, I feel like Chip specifically should get like all like around the same amount of perms as an admin director when it comes to the Discord. Because if you think about it, like the whole idea of dev director were to be a counterpart for the the admin director, but specifically for devs. But it wasn't really interpreted that way, and instead normal dev perms was nerfed, and then Chip was given normal dev perms, and then on top of that, he wasn't really given any additional perms on the Discord, and so it really just makes it cosmetic if you really think about it. So I feel like if we were able to give Chip like some more perms to do stuff,
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm not big on even managing the Discord. I basically own it to make sure when somebody quits that I still have control of it. But I kind of like to let the admin director and dev director, if he so chooses, to change things around. I don't mind that much.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm pretty sure if Ugly was here, he'd also back me up on that. Like, because the whole idea of dev director was to be a direct counterpart to the admin director.
Not totally equal though.
Yeah, not equal, just like admin director, but for devs, basically. And so I feel like yeah, if he was able to get like around the same permissions as admin director, but like not exactly, it'd be cool, because I feel like if we were to establish like an actual like hierarchy for Galaxy staff, it would be much more manageable.
So Chip does have similar permissions to an admin director, but with some differences.
Yeah.
Such as the admin director can use GCMB, Chip cannot. Chip can use gprice, the admin director cannot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about like, you know, when it comes to staff roles, like having an actual like hierarchy would be good. Like, you know, like drawing, like having like a draw out of like, or like a like, just like, yeah, like having like a way to like show like what the hierarchy is. Like, you know, it goes like Galaxy creator, and then like, you know, dev director, admin director, or like who's above who, like who has authority over others. That'd be a pretty good step in, you know, like establishing a actual like hierarchy would be a step in creating a better self-sustaining staff team. Because if you know who you're under,
Well, I think most people know who they report to.
I mean,
you're obviously under the dev director. I mean, even though you need me for stuff, I mean, you still fall under the.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the staff do have a general idea of like, yeah, who they're under, but making it clear would be good, because I mean, I don't know. And also with what Irfan said, like favoritism of among the staff team really needs to be eliminated, because as it is now, and it was in the past, it's really just a popularity competition. You know, whoever is more popular gets staff team, not people who would actually fit the role. And so, it being if like, you know, I mean, the application system is also a pretty decent way to get.
I was
in fact
just gonna say that.
Although Dylan did go through a lot of pain in reviewing them, it was a pretty good way to eliminate favoritism.
Wait,
and,
sorry, what's
you know,
happening?
Dylan,
give
how
like
many-
the community as a whole
How
a
many
way
of
to.
them
There was like 100.
Yeah.
I had to read, and that's why people like Rock School got in there. People were mad at me for letting him in for some reason.
RC, what do you feel about Irfan like being able to reform the staff team, like taking the admin's opinions and give the staff team a general reform?
Wait, what do you mean by reform?
Yeah, I mean, this is a rocket discussion. I'm sure.
Yeah, but no,
True.
like without Rocket, it's like what he's asking.
You know, I want Rocket. No, Rocket needs to be involved with everything. I mean, I'm pretty insistent on that.
All right.
Rocket's in a completely different time zone, though.
But
That's
yeah,
difficult.
the thing is with Rocket, it's like he's a good admin director. The problem is just like his activity, because sometimes like you'll DM him, and he'll respond like 3 days later. But
He goes to a lot.
in comparison to OneFast, you would DM him and you're guaranteed a response within a day. But with Rocket, it's either unpredictable or it'd take a long time. Well, it literally is unpredictable. And so that's the thing, like, I feel like in terms of activity, I think you could probably give him a better, like a little shove and tell him, you know, improve it, like, you know, get a good schedule going. Like, you know, schedule some time, like maybe on the weekend or something, you know, just like focus mainly on Galaxy. Because as it is now, you know, like, yeah, you could DM him and he'll respond like a week later, and it really makes
Usually, I find when ADs get like that, I mean, they're gonna quit within the next year. I mean, honestly, from what I've seen, and maybe that's the case. But
yeah, technically speaking, even like Irfan is more active than Rocket, to be honest. Rocket's still active, it's just that his activity is unpredictable. It really is.
Okay.
Because yeah, like I mean, with the addition of the new Galaxy support like system, like, you know, like the whole new server, I feel like it's much easier for admins to deal with tickets, because all they have to do is on their free time go on Discord, like literally on their browser, go to the support Discord server and, you know, answer some of the questions. But in like before, it used to be like they'd have to go onto this Discord server and go all the way down, answer them, and they'd have to do like a couple hundred other things, you know. It's much more simpler and easier this way.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I've gotta go now. Thank you, RC. Thank you, Suga.
Thank you, Wine.
See ya, Y-Name.
Your opinions were very
Adios.
Thank you.
Wait.
Yeah.
When you were mentioning the admin reform, I was kind of like, I was in a VC, but I wasn't really listening. I was doing other stuff. So when you mean reform, you mean like us reviewing who is like.
Well, no, I'm just
What?
like paraphrasing what Irfan is saying. Because I mean, I don't know, but like I think he intends to just like reform the staff. Just make it better. I mean, he's in the VC, but I don't think he can talk.
Well, I'm sure Irfan will move up to AD, and then we'll have a new co-AD. But you just gotta wait for that to happen. I don't want Rocket to leave on his own terms. He still seems active enough for me.
He does, yeah, but I mean, he is active per se. It's just that his activity is unpredictable, which frustrates a few people.
But with the addition, sorry.
That's why we have a co-AD. I mean, to in those gaps.
But
I don't think Irfan should have the ability to make changes without make staff structural changes without Rocket's input.
Yeah, but most of the things that the co-AD does either has to be has to have
Rocket's involvement.
Exactly. So the problem is that if we're expecting the co-AD to do stuff that the AD does while the AD is offline, but the things that the co-AD has to do, which usually involves the AD, and you gotta really question the.
I'm pretty sure they had the same terms, both of them.
Yeah, no.
Really?
I did not think they had the same purpose.
I mean, because Irfan, every time I ask him for something, he's like, "I'm gonna have to discuss that with Rocket."
Well, that's kind of what we do in general, Dylan. We usually discuss different.
They have the same terms. It's just that a lot of the things that the co-AD does has to it involves Rocket.
I'm still a little bit confused. When you mean it
also-
involves Rocket, do you mean it involves him putting in a command? Or
I don't know. I guess you could say
No, he's in charge of it. He's the admin. He's the head of admins. Like Arcurate, he doesn't really in charge himself of the staff team. He's just there to make the game.
Oh no, Irfan replied in general.
He needs to have Rocket's input on it. That's what I'm trying to say. And so it's when that's happening, it's really what is the purpose of co-AD when it requires the AD? It is a bit of
It shouldn't. I don't know why it does. I'm curious why it does.
I mean, I wish Irfan would be able to explain it himself. I'm just trying to paraphrase.
So, anyways, I'm gonna go. Apparently, Inference invited me to Among Us, and I'm serious right now.
Dylan, he's doing that to me as well.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks for being
Have fun.
Infern, where's my invite?
Why is
he doesn't give a shit.
Play Among Us?
All right. Well, there he goes. But yeah, in terms of that, yeah, I guess I do feel like the staff team can be reformed to be a bit better. I have a couple ideas. I guess I could explain them. It's just that you have to really think hard and well about, when it comes to stuff like that, the staff team. You have to make sure your staff team flows well. They're all friends. And with the Galaxpedia staff team, as I manage it, because I'm the owner of the Galaxpedia, I hire staff members which I know will flow well with other staff members. Because as I saw with, let's say, the staff team and Smokey Joe 38, the staff team would be doing something, the moderator team, right? And then all of a sudden, Smokey would get this idea that he is over, that he should be doing things that are, he's not supposed to be doing, that requires, more perms, right? And so he'd act like he'd run the place, and he'd go ahead and ignore what every other staff member is telling him, and he'd just do his own thing. And this caused a lot of segregation within the staff team, because that meant Smokey's doing his own thing. Let's say Dylan is doing his own thing, and they're not working together. They're not communicating together, and that's causing problems. It's increasing tension. But if the staff team as a whole treats themselves as a family, they're constantly communicating and stuff like that, then it works much better, and it's more smoother. like I tell my Galaxypedia staff, like if you ever come with an argument with the other staff members, you must resolve it. And it has to be peaceful. You have to resolve it positively. If it's like if there's bad blood between any of my staff after they have an argument, then I'm gonna be involved. I don't want any bad blood between my staff. If that happens, they're not going to be functioning well. They're going to be angry. They're not going to talk in Discord. You know, you want to make them feel like they're at home, like the staff team's a family. You know.
I'm sure Rocket understands that, and I don't get involved with that. But that's why I have directors.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been trying to tell Rocket a lot of these things I've observed from owning Galaxypedia and the managing the staff team for both the wiki and the Galaxypedia. I've learned a lot about how things should function, and I'm really proud of my staff team too. It's a really good staff team. Shooter's in here; he's one of the head staff members. Yeah, it's a lot of things have to be taken into consideration. You know, making it so that your staff want to be, you know, doing like their jobs, right? Because if you're forcing your staff members to do things, they're not going to want to do it. They're going to think that's, you know, it's a job for them. They're not going to do it. But if you make it so that they feel like they're happy to do it, they want to do it, then they will do it. And so I don't force my staff members to I don't force them to, you know, moderate. I'm like, I don't give them a quota, because if you do that and you say you have to get this much edits, like, you know, every week, they're gonna see it as a job, and they're gonna get pissed, and they're gonna get frustrated, and they're gonna abuse, and they're gonna leave. And you don't want that. You want to make it so that it's flexible on their own schedule. And when it's like that, you know, they'll do it. They'll do it well. And I haven't had any staff member abuse under me, fortunately. I do kind of wish Rocket was here so I can, you know, I will not really give him a lecture, but yeah, just tell him about things I've observed. Maybe he can incorporate it within the Galaxy staff team. You know, giving like your staff members the incentive to do it, and making them, like, you know, perform well.
I'm gonna have to go. I have to go work out.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Have
Sure.
fun.
Yeah, it was a really great talking to you and explaining all these. I hope you do well, and I'm glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. Thank
Welcome
you.
back, RC.
Bye.
Yes, by RC.
Well, that was a good discussion.
I agree.
Yes. Very.
Well, thank you all for being here and listening to it. Hope you guys have a good day.
We
enjoyed. Let the trolling commence.
Don't. No, there's like.
I've just been listening to this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so.
Past hour.
If you guys
Oh wait,
wanna
no,
ask
I'm the
me-
only staff member.
Now, if you guys want to ask me any questions, feel free to do so. I'll
been
be here for like
over
another 5
2
minutes.
hours.
Hey, I'm
It's been
gonna
like
ask
3.
a question.
Oh, shit, it's over.
Missile turrets when?
What?
Missile turns can just never happen,
missile turrets.
please. Just don't.
I mean, Ugly was actually
How about
like,
you
working on it though.
shut up and we get missile turrets, you know?
I'm gonna leave with this message. Sugan, give me an X2, please. Add ship Bob _ Hermie X2. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well
I'm
said.
gonna go
and
play.
you'll lose it in 2 days, right?
Yeah. I'll go make a video with ASD. It'll be fine.
You'll go pull some Bob strats.
Yeah. I'll
Got it.
post a bunch of pictures of it
Good.
to
All right,
Hull,
Pog.
and then everyone
Awesome.
will mold. It'll be really funny.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very great.
Well, I'm gonna go play Among Us with Infern and Dylan apparently, because Infern has.
¿Dónde está my invite? Where's my
Infern
invite?
has
Infern
DM'd
with
me
them
over
Among Us
30
pack.
times now.
Time to DM
Nice.
Infern.
Okay, well, thanks for being here, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah, you said a lot of things. Well, very well said, and thanks for your opinion.
Goodbye, Sugan.
Bye bye.